At Balboa Middle School, innovation looks like providing sensory input and output that special education students need. Students learn and practice coping skills by recognizing when they need a break and options for feeling expression. VEP-funded sensory mats, tools, games, and physical education equipment help promote social-emotional learning while also providing students with opportunities for exercise, fun, and participation with their typically developing peers.
Take a moment and flash back to when you were in elementary school. What do you think of? Are you thinking of a friend? A teacher you liked? One you didn't like? I think of running around the playground every day with my friends, playing handball and tetherball and basketball. Now, how about those awkward middle school years? What do you remember? I remember passing notes with my friends in class. I also remember getting caught passing notes with my friends in class. I think of the track and field where I ran cross country for the first and only time in my life. Now, how about those prime high school years? What are you instantly taken back to? For me, I'm instantly taken back to the soccer field where I practiced nearly every day, spending Friday nights with my friends at the football games. Now, I'd venture to say that for most of you, your memories are like mine, and they don't include students with disabilities or take place in a special education setting. I grew up with a younger sibling on the autism spectrum, so I knew that special education existed, I just didn't know where. It wasn't until I joined graduate school that I learned of the different special education programs that schools offer. Most commonly, we hear of mild to moderate or moderate to severe programs, which refer to how significantly a person's disability impacts their daily life and the level of support that they need. It also wasn't until graduate school that I learned of the stereotype of special education classes. Always the portable at the back of the school, out of sight and out of mind. Inclusion hasn't always been the top priority of the educational system. Don't get me wrong. We've definitely made a lot of progress since the days of institutionalizing students with disabilities, but we still have more work to do. So, how do we make a school more inclusive? To me, the obvious answer is that we work towards supporting all students across all settings and all activities. Now, like most teachers do, I got some new students at the start of the school year. I had this vision that my self-contained, moderate to severe special education class would participate with our general education PE classes. The students would all exercise together, they would make friends, everything would be inclusive. Well, that vision hit some bumps in the road real fast. My students were having a tough time self-regulating. This looked like them being restless and running around the classroom or out of the classroom. Some of them were agitated and aggressing towards themselves or towards others and throwing items. Some of them were so tired that they couldn't even focus, and the list goes on. They were being under and overstimulated. On days when we did venture out to the PE classes, I was overwhelmed. How is my student in a wheelchair supposed to walk warm-up laps around the field when their wheels get stuck in the grass? How is my visually impaired student supposed to play basketball when they can't see the ball coming at them or the 20 others being thrown around the court? How is my student who's sensitive to loud sounds supposed to learn the PE dances when the speakers are blasting music across the yard? I didn't know how we were going to make it to PE, let alone participate. In the meantime, we continued to stay in our classroom, exercising to go noodle, which we love, but you can only dance to a song called Cat Party or Snack Attack so many times before participation starts to fade. On our good days when we were self-regulating, days of high energy and good focus, all of the students and adults in the classroom would all dance and sing and play music together. On our tougher days, days when we weren't doing such a good job self-regulating, days of low energy, low focus. I was lucky if we could get one student to participate. This just wasn't enough. I needed to do better for my students. They deserved better. I needed to teach them how to self-regulate so that we could participate in those inclusive settings, like joining our general education peers in PE, with some accommodations, of course. And then along came the opportunity for me to apply for this BEP grant. It seemed like my shot in the dark at the time. I needed such a wide variety of materials that I was doubtful anybody would see my vision, but someone did. And now, with this BEP grant, we have been able to provide my students with materials and tools to help them learn how to self-regulate. Instead of being restless and running around the classroom or out of it, they're learning how to exert their energy in a positive way with using our stationary bike pedals. When they're feeling agitated, instead of aggressing towards themselves or towards others and throwing items, they're learning how to let their frustration out on our punching bag and use the weighted and heated lap pads to help them feel calm. And on days when they're so tired that they can't focus, they're stretching out on the mats and exploring different sensory items, tiles with different textures and colors. With this grant, we've also been able to develop our physical skills. We're working on our hand-eye coordination skills like tossing and throwing and catching as we use our bean bags and color-coded rings and ball with a Velcro paddle to help us catch. We're building up our endurance as we use our stationary bike pedals and our punching bag. We're strengthening our whole body as we scoot across the floor on our scooter boards. We're also throwing in some other skills like practicing our numbers and our colors, working on left from right, and working on our turn-taking skills. And now because of this grant, we're making it out to PE every single day. We're walking warm-up laps around the blacktop. When we play basketball now, we're actually making some of our shots. And those loud speakers, they're no longer bothering us. We've even started playing soccer with some of our peers with a giant blow-up soccer ball so that my student in a wheelchair can kick the ball and my visually impaired student can feel where the ball's at. We still love our Go Noodle dance breaks, but now they include rotations so that we can continue to practice these self-regulation skills and build our physical strength. So much has been made possible because of this grant. Imagine, if we were able to do all of this with just one grant, imagine what we'll do with the next, and the next. We can better support our students as they push into more inclusive settings like art class and music class. We can build up our sensory room with more tools and materials so that students have endless options to practice their self-regulation and de-escalation techniques. We can provide students with more hands-on and adapted materials so that it doesn't matter if you're in a wheelchair, if you can see, or if you can hear. All students can participate in all activities across all settings. This grant doesn't rely on materials being written into a student's IEP. It doesn't question how much money a teacher has left in their yearly budget. This grant provides students with disabilities with endless opportunities. Because of this grant, we're working towards that inclusive setting. We're fighting that stereotype of the portable at the back of the school, out of sight and out of mind. Well, I'm here to tell you that because of your help, these students are in sight and they're in mind.